Hey everyone, welcome back to the Grid Gossip. This weekend we're heading to the picturesque Styrian hills of Spielberg, Austria, home to the fast, thrilling, and often chaotic Austrian Grand Prix. In this video, we're diving deep into everything you need to know about the 2025 edition of this race, from track analysis and tire strategies to driver predictions, team pressures, and historical throwbacks. So buckle up, because this is your full preview of the Austrian GP. The Austrian Grand Prix has had a unique place in F1 history. First held in 1964 at Zeltweg Airfield, the race later moved to the scenic Österreichring, then rebranded as the A1 Ring, and finally, since 2014, it's known as the Red Bull Ring, thanks to Red Bull's ownership of the circuit. Over the years, it's been the scene of iconic moments, from Niki Lauda's emotional home appearances to Verstappen's wheel-to-wheel scraps, and even doubleheaders during the pandemic era. The short lap and tight pack often produce intense midfield action and surprise podiums. The Red Bull Ring is one of the shortest laps on the calendar, just 4.3 kilometers with only 10 corners, but don't let that fool you. It's a high-speed track with heavy braking zones, 3 DRS straights, and significant elevation changes. Key overtaking spots include turns 1, 3, and 4, all preceded by long straights. Drivers have to be millimeter perfect on exit to nail lap times. Its simplicity on paper makes it brutally difficult in reality, especially with track limits often playing a decisive role in qualifying and race results. Pirelli is bringing the C3, C4, and C5 compounds, the softest in their range. Expect high degradation, especially with aggressive traction zones out of slow corners. Race day looks dry, but in Austria, weather changes in a flash. The 2025 Austrian Grand Prix is shaping up to be a dramatic and high-stakes weekend, with rising temperatures, storm warnings, and major championship implications. Oscar Piastri leads the drivers' standings with 198 points, while McLaren dominates the constructors' table with a commanding lead over Mercedes. Tensions remain high within McLaren after the Canadian GP clash between Piastri and Lando Norris, though both drivers claim to have moved forward under papaya rules. Max Verstappen, returning to his home track with 4 previous wins here, is under immense pressure as he sits on 11 penalty points, just 1 away from a race ban. Mercedes enters with momentum, following George Russell's strong form, and Irish rookie Alex Dunn will debut in FP1, replacing Norris temporarily. The Red Bull Ring promises fast racing and potential chaos, especially with unpredictable weather, including wind speeds up to 100 kilometers per hour and threats of hail. With a high degradation track and strategic challenges from Pirelli's softest tire compounds, C3 to C5, the race is set to be a defining moment in the 2025. Scuderia will debut updates to the SF25's rear pull rod suspension this weekend, as confirmed by Fred Vasseur, with the goal of tackling ride height and instability issues. It may not be a step change, but expected to bring some tenths if executed well. For Austria, Ferrari has revised the geometry of the rear suspension to behave more like a true pull rod system. Though not a total architectural overhaul mid-season, this version is optimized around new geometry and pickup points that more closely replicate pull rod behavior. Ferrari brings a thorough aero refresh, a brand new front wing, complete with redesigned mainplane, flap, and end plate, for improved airflow and balance, plus a revised floor tailored to complement the wing's performance boost. Additionally, they've added extra cooling louvres on the engine cover to manage the high ambient temperatures in Austria without sacrificing aerodynamic efficiency. This system was tested at Maranello and on simulators prior to the Austrian GP, with favorable feedback from both Leclerc and Hamilton. The team believes the change will help them optimize their Austria-specific aero package, especially in hot conditions where ride stability is key. The upgrade also improves tire usage on the rear axle, which has been a weak spot in long runs this season. McLaren has introduced the first stage of a multi-stage upgrade that nearly transforms the MCL39 into a B-spec car. Key enhancements include a new front wing and front suspension, completely reprofiled side pod inlets, redesigned halo fairings, and a fully revised floor with updated fences, diffusers, and edges to extract more downforce. Lando Norris will debut this package. Oscar Piastri is expected to receive incremental updates next week. Mercedes' development is relatively modest but targeted. They've fitted a modified beam wing designed to reduce drag and shift aerodynamic load away from the floor, enhancing straight-line efficiency while maintaining stability. No major upgrades elsewhere on the car this weekend. Red Bull enters its home race at the Red Bull Ring with a subtle but targeted set of upgrades aimed at refining the RB21's already strong package. Unlike Ferrari and McLaren, who've brought sweeping changes, Red Bull is focusing on incremental performance gains and reliability improvements. The main change is to the rear suspension fairings, designed to improve airflow management around the rear tires and diffuser area. This change is expected to enhance aero stability during high speed. Williams has made subtle aero adjustments, a reprofiled floor fence and front brake duct vane, to add slight downforce without major overhaul. Haas adds a new pitot tube on the nose to improve airflow data accuracy. The key story this weekend is McLaren's bold upgrade package, potentially the biggest in the field, which, combined with Ferrari's substantial aero and cooling updates, could shake up the pecking order at a track where clean airflow and low drag are crucial. Mercedes and Red Bull remain cautious, favoring stability and efficiency over big leaps. Medium-field teams continue their evolutionary development.